You know that feeling when your phone rings and your first thought is, do I really have the energy for this right now? Or when someone knocks at the door and instead of answering, you pause, hoping they'll take the silence as a hint. That isn't rudeness, that's age talking. Not in a bad way, more in a you've earned this kind of way. Welcome to Golden Truths. Today, we're talking about something we don't often say out loud, the quiet craving for solitude as we grow older. Not loneliness, not sadness, but peace. And if that's where you are, it's more than okay. It's wise. Let's unpack why. In your younger years, life is loud. People are everywhere. School, work, your kids' events, the grocery store. There's always someone talking to you, needing you, pulling at your attention, and you adjust. You build a life around constant motion. But then slowly, that noise starts to feel different, heavier, less necessary. And that's when something shifts. It's not that you stop loving people. You just stop needing to be surrounded by them to feel alive. And that realization, it's one of the most freeing parts of aging. Here's why it happens. Reason 1, your tolerance for nonsense evaporates. When you're young, you deal with a lot, awkward conversations, energy-draining relationships, meaningless small talk. But over time, you start recognizing what drains you, and you quietly step away. You no longer laugh just to be polite. You no longer entertain opinions that feel hollow. You protect your peace like it's something valuable, because it is. That's not bitterness. That's boundaries. Reason 2, your priorities shift. You stop chasing busy schedules and start chasing calm. You ask yourself better questions. Who makes me feel heard? Who leaves me feeling empty? You start choosing depth over noise. A quiet afternoon with a book, more fulfilling than a crowded party. A slow walk with someone who truly sees you, worth more than 10 shallow conversations. That's not social withdrawal, it's emotional intelligence. Reason 3, the hidden weight of grief. As the years pass, we lose people. Friends, family, partners. Not all at once, but piece by piece. And with every loss, your social circle quietly shrinks. Sometimes it doesn't get rebuilt, not out of depression, but out of reverence for what once was. You realize that energy is finite, and you'd rather spend it where it counts, on the people and moments that feel safe, honest, and true. Reason 4, deep social fatigue. Not the kind you sleep off, the kind that builds slowly over years of listening, managing, giving, accommodating. You've hosted holidays, solved family arguments, smiled through discomfort. And now the thought of one more high-energy gathering feels heavy. So you start saying no. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough about yourself to rest. That's not laziness. That's wisdom earned through decades of showing up for others. Reason 5, self-awareness becomes your anchor. There's something powerful about knowing who you are, what you like, what drains you, what feels nourishing. And once you truly know yourself, it gets harder to compromise that for the sake of fitting in. You start choosing spaces that align with your values, not just your social obligations. If a conversation leaves you feeling unseen, you don't go back. If a person pulls you into chaos, you step away. That's not giving up, it's choosing peace. Reason 6, time feels different now. When you're young, an hour feels infinite. When you're older, it feels like something you can hold in your hand and feel slipping through your fingers. You don't waste it. Not on gossip, not on guilt, not on anything that doesn't feel nourishing. You understand now that every interaction is a choice, and you choose more carefully. Because your time matters. Because you matter. And here's the part that surprises people. You're not always lonely. You're often just content. Society tells us connection means having people around all the time. But what if connection also means being deeply in touch with yourself? What if it looks like morning tea by the window, like bird watching, journaling, or just breathing deeply in a quiet room? What if joy isn't always loud? That, right there, is a golden truth. Growing older doesn't mean growing cold, it means growing clear. Clear on what feeds your soul, clear on who deserves your time, clear on how you want to feel. So if you find yourself letting the phone ring, sitting longer in silence, turning down invitations, or spending more time alone, it's not something to fix. It's something to honor. You're not disappearing. You're refining, And in that beautiful refinement, you're finally starting to live life. Not for everyone else, but for yourself. That's not selfish. That's sacred. Subscribe to Golden Truths for more wisdom, more heart, and more space to just be. Because aging isn't the end of your story. It's when the real one begins.